Hey Vita fans, welcome to this week's edition of the Vitality Weekly News Update. I'm Kyle from the Vita Lounge and I'll be your host today and every Friday until there are no headlines left. Are you ready for some Vita in your veins? 'Cause here we go. Announced way back in September of 2015 and given the trailer treatment soon after, it appears that Killing Bites will be delayed into at least 2017 according to its official website. As for the exact reason, the official site blames the implementation of functionality enhancements focused on the game's multiplayer for the holdup. That said, the publisher has also changed from Next Entertainment to Fields. We still haven't heard about a developer, and the official site states that there will be no updates for a while, so who knows what's up with this one. Only time will tell. While Axis Games is publishing Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters Daybreak Special Gigs World Tour in North America, NIS America will be taking the reins in Europe, and they've announced a release date for the region which is just a little behind their cross-ocean Western counterpart. Europeans will be getting their hands on Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters Daybreak Special Gigs World Tour October 21st, just over a month past North America's recently announced September 20th release date. Kickstarter title Glitched has received a PlayStation Vita stretch goal and it looks like it's well on the way to obtaining it. At the time of this recording, Glitched has already surpassed its base funding goal of $7,500 and is closing in on the $30,000 mark. Only $35,000 needed for the Vita port with just over 2 weeks left on the clock. As for the game itself, Glitched is a story-driven RPG with plenty of impactful decisions to be made. Each choice will shape the player's personality and morality. This is tracked by the game's Essence system, according to the game's Kickstarter page. There is no leveling, experience, or random monster encounters. All combat is story-based, and players will be making choices that may or may not lead to a brawl. Players will have to use different party members and equipment in order to change how they approach each battle, and deciding to kill, spare, or find another way to stop a fight will all lead to different story outcomes. If this sounds interesting to you, check out their Kickstarter page. There will be a link in the description. Let's make that Vita version happen, people. Story of the Good Old Days is a brand new adventure simulation RPG, and it's due to launch digitally this December in Japan. The game is a straightforward turn-based RPG. There isn't a lot of dressing up to be found here. You'll have your units and the enemy will have theirs. Each stage will have its own victory conditions, such as defeating the enemies, and once you beat the stage, it's on to the next one. Each enemy you defeat will earn you experience, which in turn will level you up and strengthen your units. It doesn't matter whether you win or lose the battle, you get to keep the experience, so if you're struggling with a battle, it pays off to persist. Story of the Good Old Days launches this December in Japan, digitally for 1,800 yen. Rising Star Games took to Twitter earlier this week to announce a physical version of isometric adventure game Lumo for PlayStation 4. When questioned in reply about a physical Vita version by @LastRealGamer, however, they let loose that it'll be coming as well to European regions. Releasing in Europe only, the Lumo physical version will be priced at €19.99 and is set to be available September 9th. Mark your calendars so you don't miss out. It looks like Disney Infinity players on Vita better get in some online play while they still can. According to the game's website, it looks like services for the online portions of Disney Infinity 2.0 will start to come down in just under 2 months, with the full closure date being March 3rd, 2017. No new Toy Box submissions will be reviewed after September 30th, however, so it looks like that's the cutoff date for new content. Updates, patches, and downloads of the base game will continue to be available past both of those dates, so you needn't worry about things working aside from online services. The game will still be playable even after March 3rd, as will all included content. Infinity doesn't go on forever online, it seems, but hey, at least it's still playable, right? Kadokawa Games has announced that Regal Loves 2 versions, Gold Beach and Blue Ocean, will now release in Japan on the 20th of October. The previously announced date of August 25th just not gonna work out. The delay has been attributed to an attempt to improve the quality of the game, which is typical PR speak for "we're not done yet." I don't know about you, but I think some English subtitles would be a nice improvement. Who's with me? If you are a fan of indie titles, and in particular Curve Digital, you've probably been following our coverage of their upcoming title, Hugh. Coming from developer Fiddlesticks, Hugh is a charming and vibrant puzzle platformer which features a color-changing mechanic as a way to shift different panes into play. Boasting a vivid art style with clever level design mixed with touching narrative, the game is a platforming adventure as refreshing as it is colorful. Well, good news, as this week we learned that it will release on August 23rd, just over 2 weeks away. Our very own Paul Murphy had some hands-on at EGX and loved what he played, so keep an eye out for this one when it drops. Are you excited for Darkest Dungeon? Well, it's time to turn that excitement up to 11 and rip off the knob, because it looks like the game's almost here. In a post on the European blog, Red Hook Studios community manager John Linvey explains, quote, "Ruin has come to our family, and the terrible task of restoring your estate to its former glory falls to you. It brings us great pleasure to finally announce the upcoming release date for Darkest Dungeon for both PlayStation 4 and Vita, 27th of September, 2016. End quote. Darkest Dungeon is a challenging gothic turn-based dungeon crawler about the psychological stresses of adventuring. Drawing inspiration from classic tabletop experiences, Darkest Dungeon's heroes are human and the experiences they face will push them to their limits. Stating that only under great stress will a hero be born, success isn't guaranteed and many an adventurer will fall along the way. Cross-buy with the PlayStation 4 version and launching with cross-save and a 20% discount on PlayStation Plus, Darkest Dungeon is headed our way September 27th. Don't be broke that week or you might as well lock yourself in a real dungeon. Yep, I said it. I went there. Do it. Moving on to the last update of the week, it looks like another game is getting the cancellation treatment as Crow's Burning Edge has been canned by Bandai Namco, but only for Vita. The title will live on as a PlayStation 4 exclusive, however, so should you need to play it, there will be options, just not the best one. Crow's Burning Edge was covered numerous times on the Vita Lounge, and we even had a hint that it might be coming west. With the removal of the platform we're all here for, however, does anyone still care? I know I don't. That's all for the news recap this week, which means it's time for a rundown of newly released trailers, the following titles having either a new trailer or new footage released since I last sent some Vitality your way. AW Phoenix Festa, Akiba's Beat, Demon Gaze 2, Divine Prison Tower Mary Skelter, Dungeon Punks, Dynasty Warriors Aiketsuden, Fate Extella The Umbral Star, God Eater 2 Rage Burst, Macross Delta Scramble, MyQ Labyrinth of Death, Mutant Mud Super Challenge, Sengoku Otome Legend Battle, Shiren the Wanderer, The Tower of Fortune and the Dice of Fate, Super Dimension Neptune vs. Sega Hard Girls, World of Final Fantasy, Yomawari Night Alone, and more. So these are the standout happenings from the week, and I hope I've caught you up properly. Make sure to check back here next week for another new update of Vitality. Hit up the Vita Lounge for the full stories and all the bits I didn't cover, and of course have a great week of Vita gaming. See you next week, guys.